You know, to me, there's nothing sadder than young people leaving scouting. Let's talk about it. Hey, ScouterStan. Want to talk about a subject that's really important, and this is true for packs, troops, and crews. Everybody in scouting needs to think about, when young people leave scouting, that's a potential that's lost, and that is incredibly sad. So the way I view it is that when I hear about scouts leaving scouting, I always think to myself, oh, why didn't they just upgrade to a better troop or a better pack? Why did they have to leave? That's something we have to ask ourselves. Scouting is so important that if they're not in your unit, they need to be in somebody's. They need to be out there. They need to be in the program, having fun, learning. Okay, that's the thing about scouting, and we need to think about it in that way. Now, not all units are the same. We know that. Okay, there are some units that do the minimal amount of camping. Okay, because for some reason that's a good fit. They do a lot of indoor things. They do a lot of community service. They might do different things that are scouting. It's all a part of it. But they do just the camporees, or they do just those things that are the minimal as far as outdoorsy stuff. And that's purely because their scouts prefer that. The scouts, the youth in a troop, design the schedule. That's all a part of it. Now, in a pack, that's not really possible. Believe me, if you're a tiger leader, you know what I mean. It's important that there's a schedule of activities that are indoor and outdoor. So that's the wonderful thing. It's a mix. And it's a program that's already done for you, okay, in a pack. With a troop, the schedule is really developed by the youth. The same thing is true in a crew. So the crew actually develops that schedule. They come up with the ideas of what they want to do. And then the committee needs to be in there to help and guide and mentor that decision. So that's one of those things that group mentality. Now, I'm going to put a video up there. Don't go there now. Go there at the end. They'll be there throughout the video. Okay, so I'm going to put a video up there. It's about the patrol method, and it talks about all that, okay? And then also planning seminars. That's something you want to look at those later, okay? Now, keep in mind, a lot of the advancement and program that's there is really there designed for the core, and that stays the same. So it's really the different activities that the troop or crew put together that really cement it together. And that's the key. They have to want these things. They have to be able to do these things. So we need to make it possible for them to do them. So if they have this incredible ideal of doing a big ski trip, that's something we need to help with, mentor, to get that done so that they can have fun with it. We do not need to be putting up roadblocks everywhere to kind of force them into doing something else. That's not our job as leaders. We need to help them do those great things. Now, obviously, we have to keep that within the realm of possibility. There's some things that, camp out on the moon. That's not going to happen, okay? So, not right now. We just, it's not feasible right now. We need to go back to the moon first. Okay, so that's one of those things. I always get that in the comments. But keeping that in mind, as adult leaders, we need to guide and mentor our scouts. That's where personality conflicts come in. Sometimes the youth don't get along, and sometimes the adults too don't get along. They have differences that are separating them away from one another, where they're not there helping one another to achieve a goal. Sometimes there are hard feelings that spill over between leaders, committees, and different elements of a unit that can spill over. Almost every leader has a youth that's involved in the unit. So that kind of goes that direction. If the leader leaves, the youth is going to go with them. So that's a given. So you have to keep that in mind. Scouting is about getting along, being friendly, courteous, and kind to one another. Regardless, we're going to have our differences. There are some things that are cultural. That might be something as far as a language barrier. That might be something. A belief barrier. That might be a problem. So that is not a good fit. That scout needs to go where it is a good fit. And the leader too. So that's something that we have to keep in our minds when scouts are finding a unit. Is this a good fit? Do I really want to do canoeing at least once a year? Do I really want to go to summer camp? Is that something I want to do? Or they do a tournament of video games. That might be something they do, and that might be what that scout wants. That might be what that leader wants to help with. So these you have to match. It's almost like puzzle pieces. You got to make sure they fit into the right unit. Another big thing is engagement. Sometimes units kind of go off the deep end, okay? They lose the focus of a youth-led unit. And at that point, most of the youth are not going to really participate in someone else's program that they did not sign up for. So they need to be the big leaders as far as the program. The adult leadership needs to be there to mentor, facilitate, all of that type of stuff. That's really what they need to do. If that's not happening, you're going to have scouts leaving. Another big part of engagement is scouts, youth, did not join up to be in boring meetings, okay? Whether they led them or not. They did not sign up for that. They want excitement. They want adventure. They want to do stuff, okay? And as adult leaders, we want them to do stuff. We want them to go out. We want them to put together an incredible service project that helps the community. These are things that, as adult leaders, we need to be focused on, so that when they come up with those ideas, we're there to help and mentor and guide and enable them. The old EDGE method, another video, don't go there. So, that's the big thing. We, as scout leaders, need to help our youth be engaged, get involved, do stuff. Okay? That is huge. Okay? So, keeping all that in mind, we want to keep it fun too. So when we have a moment with the scouts, we want to make sure that they're smiling. I want scouts, when they leave, whenever I'm around at a meeting or something, I want them to leave smiling, okay? And a lot of times I just use corny jokes, okay? I call them scouter jokes. And the scouter joke of the week is a good one. You're going to like it. Here it is. What do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. Okay, so these are fun. You can tell these to Cub Scouts. You could tell them to anybody in a troop. You could tell these to church. Okay, these are jokes that are just fun. Okay, and we need to make sure that scouts are having fun, and that's a big part of what scouting is about. So until next time, I will see you on the trail.